What's up, YouTube? I'm Derek T. You're watching Steel City Moto Vlogs, and I have finally procured my replacement camera. It's a GoPro Hero 8 Black. I told you all that story in another video, but it's finally here. It's been here for a couple days. I've kind of been toying around with it a little bit. I even managed to do a couple of takes from the helmet cam with it, but the audio didn't come through, so I kind of had to tinker around with it a little bit, and I'm hoping that what I have now is going to be a good setup. If not, GoPro makes a media mod, and I'll probably be investing in a media mod if this particular setup doesn't work. So I'm just out doing some testing. I got the Max 360 over here. It's recording in 360 view, and just getting out and doing a little bit of riding today. I had planned on meeting up with some people to do some riding today, but that kind of fell through, and I don't really have anybody to blame but myself for that. I was working and just didn't have enough time to catch up with them, so I don't know if I'll see them while I'm out, but I definitely wanted to before the sun goes down and it gets extremely cold outside. I wanted to get out and at least do some camera testing, if nothing else, and knock out two birds with one stone, get a halfway decent ride in and test the camera at the same time. So this is the Hero 8 Black, and it is in super view, which is the view that really appeals to me when I do my video content. And then, like I said, I use the GoPro Max 360 over here. I've been talking a lot of trash on the GoPro Hero 7 Silver because I tried to use it when my GoPro Hero 7 Black got messed up. I tried to substitute it in, and it's pretty funny because it was kind of like going to your backup quarterback, but understanding that your backup quarterback is the backup for a reason, because it just did not at all. It was serviceable, but it was not at all the long-term solution. I've been talking a lot of trash about the GoPro Hero 7 Silver lately, just because I reached a level of frustration with it that I otherwise would not have known when I tried to substitute it in for the Hero 7 Black. Then I started realizing what all it couldn't do versus what I was accustomed to my cameras being able to do. So I've talked a lot of trash about it, but the truth is, for what I use it for, it actually is a pretty good camera. It's just not meant to be on the front of my helmet. It doesn't give me the settings that I like to have on the front of the helmet, and it doesn't cooperate well with the battery pack that I have on here now. I can record for over 4 hours now without having to stop and change a battery or anything like that, which is really, really great. When I took my long road trip back over the summer, you should have seen every night in the hotel room my charging station, the phone, all of the cameras, the batteries, I mean just wires and batteries all over the place. And now I'm really cut down by probably about 60% of all that gadgetry in order to keep my stuff charged now. So it's pretty cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put another battery pack somewhere along this general area of the bike and I'm gonna find somewhere to mount it, and then I'm gonna run a wire from the Max 360 so that I can get a longer battery life from the Max 360 the same way. And that way I won't have to carry as many batteries and be worried about losing stuff and everything else. But yeah, this Hero 8 Black is the real deal. I really like it, and I've had a couple of issues with my audio, and I'm hoping that I've solved it. Today is kind of the test of that. I'm hoping that I solved the audio issue, and if not, then the next resort is probably going to be to go away from the audio adapter and go with the media mod on the camera. It's like an $80 addition, so I was hoping to not have to do that, especially since I paid $50 for the audio adapter. So I'm hoping I don't have to go that route. I mean, if I do, then I just do, but it'd be nice to not have to. So yeah, this is just a test ride here. Yeah, 3 cameras that I work with primarily. Like I said, the Hero 8 Black on the front of the helmet, the Max 360 here for B-reel footage, and then for the Hero 7 Silver, I'll show you that on your screen right here. I keep it in this handheld gadget. That's for when I get off the bike and I'm walking around, and it holds my phone and the camera there. So usually when I'm off the bike and walking around, if I'm taking that kind of footage, I have the phone facing me and I have the camera facing outward, and it gives me really good footage doing that. So for that purpose, the Hero 7 Silver works for me. It's a great camera for that purpose and for that purpose only. So I think in another video, I think I literally called it a piece of trash. It might not be a piece of trash. I was just frustrated because it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. So all good, all good. Like I said, I'm out today on my Goldwing GL 1500 and riding. Gonna go north of the city a little bit. I don't know if I picked the right time of day to do this. Day before Thanksgiving, people were trying to get out, and let me tell you, I was out working earlier today, driving up and down the roads, and the state police, the PA State Police, were all over the place today. I guess they're looking for drunk drivers and such. But they, I drove through a checkpoint, at least that's what he told me it was, and the officer pulled me over and told me I didn't have any inspection and emission sticker on my car. And he was right, I don't, because the windshield on the car is new. I actually do have the stickers in the car with me, and I was able to show it to him, and all's well that ends well. But it's not because he didn't try, though, that's for sure. So and I'm out here now, and wherever I end up riding to, I'm gonna take my good old time about it. I'm not going to be in a rush today at all. The state police are looking for reasons to fundraise. That's what I call it. I call it fundraising. The holidays are a good time for fundraisers. Everything from inspection stickers to DUIs. have some updates for you, and that is with regard to some of my camping plans. And I did a video and I showed you some of the gear that I got, and particularly the tent that I'm working with, but I got another one. That's funny because I haven't even used the one that I have yet, and I found myself getting another one. But here's my thing. Here's my thing about going camping when I finally get to do it, because this is not the weather that I'll do it in. I believe in, and again, this is, you've heard me say this before when I talk about touring bikes. Somebody asked me, you know, what's the perfect touring bike? Entertain that question all the time. Perfect touring bike is the perfect one for you. Go back and watch my Toys for Tots ride, and we talk about that particular incident. But for me, this is specifically for my experience and what I want my experience to be when I finally do get out and do some camping. I want it to be as enjoyable for me than it is for anybody else. And that means that, you know, as much as possible, keeping an eye on the weather, making sure that the weather is cooperative. I don't mind the great outdoors, but I don't want to be camping out in the rain. I know that sometimes that's going to probably happen because I don't have any control over it, but what I can do is watch the occasional weather report and make my plans according to that. Now, there might be some times when that's not in my control, and, you know, I might be out with a group of people who are doing something on a certain date and, you know, just have to deal with the elements as they come. Kind of like when we rode the National Biker Roundup. When we came home from Perry, Georgia, all the way back up here to Pittsburgh, Hurricane Ida chased us all the way up the East Coast. It literally didn't stop raining from the time that we got on the road until we pulled into, until we crossed the state lines in Pennsylvania. So sometimes, you know, you don't have control over everything you'd like to have control over. But in this case, where, you know, you're braving the outdoors, I'm not going to be out there freezing my tail off in the cold, nor am I going to pack up a whole bunch of stuff trying to make warm in cold conditions. I'll just wait until the spring when it's nice outside, but that also gives me some time to kind of pull my nickels and dimes together and buy the gear that I want. And if you would see my YouTube history, I've been watching less motovlogs and more camping stuff, just so that I know what's out there and I see what I want. And so I did buy this tent, and it's a really cool instant setup tent. It's really cool, and I definitely will have some use for it. And there will be some times when I do use it, but honestly, I want a tent that I'll be able to stand up in and have some room to move around in, and really kind of be able to be indoors when I want to be and be outdoors when I want to be. So I got a video coming to you pretty soon showing you what I came up with for that purpose. And then I got an exciting announcement also coming. I'm adding another weapon to my arsenal in my garage, and so be sure that if you haven't already subscribed to the channel and hit that bell for notifications, you might want to do that this time around, because I got something coming to you that you don't want to miss. Pretty glad that it's kind of opened up a little bit. There's been a lot of traffic out. It's a chilly day. I think the high today was like 42 or something like that. 42 degrees Fahrenheit, that is. But it's not terribly bad if you dress for it. I've become pretty adept at dressing for it. Why? Because I went to go check out some heated gear at Cycle Gear, and yeah, not ready to make that financial plunge into heated gear just yet. Maybe next winter. You know, or maybe somebody would like to send me some heated gear from somewhere. If so, I wear a 2X. Just throwing that out there. Happen to have a viewer watching, he says he needs heated gear. You can send that to me. Reach out to me. I'll show you. I'll tell you exactly where to send it if that's the case. But seriously, all jokes aside, it was definitely more expensive than I thought it was going to be. And there's nothing wrong with that, because motorcycling is not a cheap hobby, for sure. And a wise person once told me, if it's cheap, it ain't good, and if it's good, it ain't cheap. So I'll make plans for it, but I have a list of things that I'm planning for. Oh, I'm coming up on my exit. Alrighty. Talking and driving and not paying attention to where I'm going. So now that I'm using the GoPro Quick app, I can see what my camera is seeing at all times right here. It also lets me know if I'm having problems or not. I can do a quick test and then play it back in my ear, and if I like what I hear, I keep on going, and if I have an audio problem, I know I need to address something before I actually start moving. That's gonna be good for not having so many retakes or voiceovers or ruined footage when I get home, and realizing that I don't have what I thought I had. So all right, let's find our way out of here. Get back on the road. If I'm not missing, let's go Harmerville or Highland Park. Let's go to Highland Park. Alrighty. Alright, YouTube, I'm back on the road, and on our way home, as you can see, the sun has gone down, and so has the temperature. It's supposed to get pretty cold tonight. It's supposed to get down in the 20s. I'm pretty well layered up, but that doesn't mean I want to be hanging around with all of this blowing on me. I have some heat coming in off of the vents down below me, and this larger than life windshield that I got along with my layers are keeping me pretty warm. It's comfortable, so thankful for that. But yeah, this is about the time of day that it's time to wrap it up and go on home. So I'm hoping that this audio test run has been a good one. If you're watching it on YouTube, then I was satisfied with how it came out. I did, however, I've been around to a number of Walmart stores, and so I got a chance to go to this one out here in Pittsburgh Mills, which is not an area that I frequent a whole lot, but I found myself out here near it, and so I decided to stop at that one. And wouldn't you know it, they have the tent that I'm looking for in there. So I can't pick it up today, not on the bike. But I'll be driving my car back out here within the next couple of days and picking that up. Really excited about that. I'll show you a picture of it on your screen, and then I'll also put a link to it in the description box as well. So if you decide that you want to go on Amazon and purchase it, you help me out. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and if not, no worries. Here's my thought process. This is what I'm thinking, and so feel free to chime in the comments if you agree, disagree, or think I should do something different. I don't mind hearing from you. When I'm going to go out tent camping, I want to be in something that's just as comfortable to be inside than to be outside. So what I was looking for was a tent that, number one, I'm 6 feet tall, so one that is tall enough for me to be able to stand all the way up without being hunched over, to be able to move around in case you do come up against the elements and it starts raining and everything else. I don't have to be in a small dome tent where the only thing I can do in it is lay down or sit down. If I want to be able to stand up and move around, I need to be able to stand up and move around. So my thought process was to get a tent that was big enough, maybe a 6-person tent that has more than enough space inside to be able to do that. I mean, if it's just me, there'd be more than enough space. And then maybe get like a small instant screen room to go next to it in case you're out there. Now, when we were down in Perry, the bugs were ridiculous. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. The grasshoppers, the gnats, you know, just really, really bad during the day. So I'd like to have like a screen room or something like that to be able to get out of the sun, be able to get some relief from the bugs if necessary. And so I thought about doing that, and Ozark Trail makes the 6-person tent, but then they also make the instant screen room as well, and they're both, the concept is both the same, where you know you essentially pop it up like an umbrella. It doesn't take long to set up at all, which is right up my alley. I hate fooling with poles and all kind of stuff like that. I don't want to be bothered doing all that. I want something that is very simple, very straight to the point, but gives me a large amount of space because I want my space. I like my space. And so that's just me projecting out into, you know, the future in terms of how comfortable I'm going to be when I'm camping out. Therefore, if I were to stick with the screen room idea and then the 6-person tent, by the time I got done paying for both of those items, for about another $10 or $15, you can end up just getting the 10-person Ozark Trail instant tent, and it's essentially the tent and the screen room all in one. And I love the idea, I love the concept, and that's going to be the perfect one for me. And so that's the one that I'm going to go with. Somebody is looking at that and thinking to themselves, how in the world are you going to carry that thing on the bike? Well, I do have a plan for that. You'll have to stick around for the next couple of videos and you'll see what the plan for that is, as it is in the works and very, very close to coming out. So you want to stay tuned. Within the next video or two from this one, you'll see the surprise that I'm working on. So those are my thoughts as far as tent setup goes while we're heading into the dead of winter. And I have absolutely zero intentions of camping in the wintertime. Now, I will ride in the wintertime. Tonight is evidence of that. I'll ride in the cold. I know how to prepare for the cold. I know how to ride in cold weather. I know how to be cold and be able to keep myself warm and comfortable while I'm out here in the cold. I don't do cold and wet at all, especially not up here in Pittsburgh, because that means slippery roads, and I'm just not willing to take the chance. I'll ride in the cold, but I will under no circumstances camp out in the cold, because that's just why. Like, you have to really love what you're doing to intentionally, willfully leave the warmth of your own home to spend the night in the cold. I'm not going to intentionally leave the warmth and the comfort of my home. Holy smokes. I'm not going to intentionally do that just so that I can go on a camp out. I would much rather wait until spring, summer, and let the temperatures get up to where maybe it's in the maybe 50s at night, 60s and 70s during the day, or whatever. You know, I don't mind doing that. Even, you know, a somewhat like a, you know, it was probably about 45, maybe 48 degrees earlier today. You know, if that's a nighttime temperature, you know, I think I can deal with that. But, you know, we have some pretty insanely cold winters here in Pittsburgh, and that's just not having. I'm talking about teens and single digit temperatures. And there's just no way in the world I'm going out in that kind of weather in the name of camping. So, however, so why I'm thinking about this now? Well, I guess this is the time to plan for it. I'm not going to wait until springtime, and I'm sure the prices now going into the wintertime for that kind of stuff is probably a lot cheaper than it will be at the start of springtime, when people are really getting out and doing outdoorsy type of stuff. So I think I'm doing the right thing by loading up on gear now, and getting all my plans down. And even as I plan on taking some longer road trips on the bike, you know, one thing that I want to do is, maybe instead of staying at hotels and running up a whole lot of hotel bills, paying anywhere from $80 to $150 a night, you know, you can stay at a campground for, you know, 10% of that. Seems like, you know, if you're $100, you know, it might be 15, 20 bucks. As I get more and more into this motorcycle life that I am definitely enjoying, and I'm expanding my horizons to start including campouts and being able to take longer trips and, you know, post up in a campsite and then, you know, pack up and keep going the next day or whatever. That seems exciting to me. I want to get out and do it. So I spend a lot of time thinking. I spend a lot of time planning. I spend a lot of time putting nickels and dimes aside to be able to pay for these things, because I'm not being sponsored by any particular brand name or company or anything else like that. Would love to be, but that's not happening yet. So you know, when and if that happens, it'll be great. And if it doesn't happen, it's not going to be the reason why I didn't do it. Life is a little short for that. So if it's something that I want to do, let me go on and do it while I have a chance to do it.